Like, I get mad. Like, you spoke to Kendrick like that. That's very different from you speaking to Joe Budden like that, from you speaking to Push like that, from you speaking to Meek like that. You spoke to Kendrick Lamar like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel a way when the greatest, like the greatest of blacks.
Drake!
Y'all know we had to see what the Podfather had to say about this Kendrick Lamar Not Like Us video. Y'all better like the video. Y'all better subscribe. Let's get into this right now.
Not Like Us video dropped.
Yes,
it did. On Independence Day. Is there a correlation? Drake was just celebrating Canada Day, huh? Is there something there?
What do you think?
This is my favorite part and my least favorite part of all of the greats, or these greats today. Having to decipher what means what. I wish it came with like a pamphlet to just tell me why you're standing in front of these shipping containers.
But I think that's I think the point of that is that art is subjective, and he wants people to have a conversation as to what they think the symbolism actually means.
It does mean something and is going to mean something.
The dates mean something. The times mean something.
Push-ups
I know.
Yeah.
You do 50?
It ain't left up to our interpretation.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I understand that he's extremely intentional, but he understands that people are going to be having a conversation as to what they think.
Oh, he wants to allow it.
Exactly.
He wants to allow it.
Exactly. And I feel like dropping it on Independence Day, it's a clear correlation to him calling Drake a fucking colonizer.
The containers, you know what I thought that meant? My mind.
What'd you think?
Trafficking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I thought trafficking.
I thought too. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. He meant trafficking.
I thought.
Because what else could it mean?
The export of black culture. That's another.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting that they were all painted white. And then so like the, people dancing inside of the container, black people dancing inside the container was the exportation of black culture.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. You smoked that.
I ain't gonna lie.
You smoked that.
You kind of killed that.
I still think we
You've been to a museum or two, haven't you?
That shit in the city.
That art spoke
that big ass museum.
That art was talking to them.
That was good.
That was good. That was real good.
It was good.
Yeah. What else you got?
Yeah, word.
Keep cooking.
The Crip walk over the hopscotch.
Wasn't Crip walk?
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, he was not hopscotching.
Right, he was walking.
Yeah. And I feel like he skipped over the 6. But I don't know. It was like a couple of times watching. I was like, did he skip over the 6? And also that was during the A minor part. So that was
symbolic.
Yeah.
What about the fake Drake that he had trying to sneak up?
Oh, I love that part. Hey, he Van Moose that nigga. Hey, fake Drake almost got him. Fake Drake was almost there. Nigga said, poof. He flew his little ass away. Go to Michael Rubin party, nigga. Fly your ass out of here.
How much times you watch the video?
A bunch.
Yeah, I watched it a bunch of times.
I watched it a bunch.
And then the photo, the family photo. And then it was like...
Finish him.
I loved it because it was like the black and white but sepia tone to make it almost look like it was like a really old photograph and the way they were standing. Mm-hmm. And then they all just start crip walking in the living room.
You played the long game. When a nigga played with you, you played the long game. Played with you, pump it up. I didn't know. You played. You are cerebral.
Oh, wait.
You Professor X. You played the long game. So I had to like really sit down and say, because when the whole beef happened, man, and when Kendrick was dropping it on Tuesday mornings there at the park, like it was just so shit. It's like some puppet master shit, bro. It's like the Illuminati. Like you a part of something.
I like Kendrick and Pusha and myself highlighting the culture part. I like the separation of. I like that shit that Mos Def said.
But you still.
I feel like some of y'all out there, if it don't apply, let it fly. But there's just a lot of people out there that dudes like me feel like y'all can't ever say nothing to niggas that have this shit like in their blood. But a part of that for everybody is, what's that? Kenny Rogers? No one to hold him, no one to fold him?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's an important part of that. I think a lot of people maybe just felt like because Drake was where he was for so long that the attitude was, I'm above the culture and I'm above hip hop. And you're not. No one person is greater than all of this.
Do you think that he thought that or people put him there? Because that's
Both.
two different things.
Both.
I think he believed into it.
He was above hip hop.
Yes.
The same
I
culture,
feel like that.
Yeah.
the same culture that he tried.
Bro, he
to,
had hip hop on his back for a minute. So you start to think, I am the culture.
And that you transcend it.
I'm bigger than this now.
And
He
you
had
start
hip-hop on his-
shitting on
yeah,
all of the
yeah.
hip-hoppity hop people. Now you start buying shit like you the fucking museum. You buying fucking, listen, it's a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm not about to sit here and explain it. But yeah, that's all it felt like for a little bit.
It's like OJ saying, I'm not black, I'm OJ. He felt like his fame had gotten him to the point where he transcends race.
Like, I get mad. Like, you spoke to Kendrick like that. That's very different from you speaking to Joe Budden like that, from you speaking to Push like that, from you speaking to Meek like that. You spoke to Kendrick Lamar like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel a way when the greatest, like the greatest of blacks, like the LeBron conversation with his son. Like, if anybody deserves to do that with their son, it's LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
So if y'all are talking like this about one of our greatest blacks, it's like you just don't do that. Too much dip on the chip. If I could take this battle, if I could give this battle back and get a take care too, I would do it in a heartbeat.
All right, so a lot to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Number one, in my reaction, I told y'all I like the fact that Kendrick dropped a video on 4th of July. And I thought a lot of people could read between the lines and understand that, but I'm glad Joe kind of broke that down. Like, yeah, 4th of July, American independence. This is the guy Drake who has a quote that says, you know, I'm not even from around here, but y'all let me run it around here, right? He's always talked about, hey, I'm from Canada and I'm in America just running this. And as a Drake fan who's an American, that did go into the ego part of the battle and the cockiness and the I'm so big, I'm untouchable factor, which Joe got into, but it was a lot of symbolism in that video. I didn't peep the containment containers and all of that stuff where DeMar DeRozan was sitting in front of the containment yard and all that other stuff. I didn't really peep that. And then it just got me like, oh yeah, because what are in those containers? Those are exports. Drake is technically an export. He not from here. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many things about this video that might have went past people's head. I saw people trying to tell me the dummy was like a dummy of Drake. Yes, it was obviously the dummy had barrettes in his hair and it looked like an owl. Like, I think that was obvious. It was a lot of deeper things at play. I did make a joke about the black and white during Kendrick and his wife and the kids and all that other stuff. Yes, it was obviously honestly, there is an old American photo of a farmer and his wife sitting on a farm. I really feel like that's what the Kendrick and his wife photo was supposed to mean. I think it's on the screen right now. I think that's what it was kind of mimicking. That just photo of people being like, this is our land, we here. Almost like you putting down your stake of where you from and the places that you protect. But like Joe said, everything in this video was intentional. He wanted us to look into this stuff. And how long has it been since we really did that in hip hop? Remember when the Jay-Z albums and the Nas album would come out and we was trying to read all the little stuff? Some of y'all too young, I remember. And it's fun to do that again. So shout out to Kendrick bringing that back. And I even started thinking about the old Drake narrative and stuff like that. And Drake has been going off in a different direction. And I don't know if we'll get that old Drake back. And I understood during the battle when Joe was saying Drake is not rapping no more. And he will give us a crazy verse once in a while, but you know, he's never given us that all rap album with just bars and lyrics. And I don't know if billionaire Drake at this point in his life can still do it. I'm being honest with you. That don't mean I don't love the music that he putting out. It's just not lyrical, miracle, bar for bar music. And that all goes into that culture conversation that was had during this whole battle. Y'all thought I jumped off. Y'all thought I was rambling. No, nigga, I'm gonna bring it back. That's why you like the video and subscribe. I'm that nigga. I'm comfortable. I've been doing this. Sit back and relax, nigga. Send a donation to the Cash App. All right, now, also, we got into Joe and his motivations throughout the battle. And I want to give it to Joe. He did not really choose sides. He never walked in the podcast and said, Kendrick, I want you to destroy this nigga Drake. He never did that. He always seemed to keep it fair. Even though in my heart of hearts, and I feel like, look, what did Kendrick say? He said it best. Hey, Drake, the audience not dumb. So Joe knows we not dumb. We knew he was rooting for Kendrick. We knew he was smiling and laughing every time Drake took a L. Okay? You see, he had to mention that Michael Rubin party, which a lot of people on the internet talking about Drake is looking old now, the Michael Rubin picture and all that other stuff. But still, Joe seemingly tried to keep it fair. And sometimes you have to do that. And what I mean when I say you have to do that, sometimes you got to sit back. You can't do too much talking. You got to let it play out. And you saw Kendrick do the same thing. He didn't do anything extra. He put out the music. He rapped. He didn't talk. He didn't tweet. He didn't post. And see, all that stuff worked in his favor too, because it made Drake look emotional. It made Drake look too invested. Almost like, are you confident in your body of work? Because all I got to do is rap. I don't have to sell to people on anything. And I noticed that Joe didn't talk about this narrative that Not Like Us is getting played out. By the way, I saw somebody in my comments, and I just asked the question. I didn't say Not Like Us is getting played out because in California, it's nowhere near close to being played out. But I do see some people on social media. When I put out my TikTok, I saw some people calling me a Kendrick meat rider. Now they've switched me from being a Drake meat rider to now I'm a Kendrick meat rider on TikTok, okay? I need y'all to clock that. So when I tell y'all I'm keeping it fair, you know, now they saying I'm representing both sides. They saying I'm an OVO incognito agent. But anyway, to bring it back to the subject, look. I told y'all during the beef, when Kendrick was dropping everything around the podcast, I said, Kendrick and Joe Budden have some type of communication. I told y'all that. You can never tell me anything different. I'm not going to say Joe was coaching Kendrick. I'm not going to say Kendrick needed like Joe to, you know, walk him through the beef. But I feel like this whole Drake thing was a collaborative effort. That's where the whole 20v1 shit came from. And I'm talking about Future, Pusha T, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, Rick Ross, Nav. Whoever had an issue with Drake, they poured that energy into Kendrick. Maybe not through conversations, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a studio session where a lot of those people I named heard some of those diss records. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick had a plan from the beginning when Like That came out. He might have got a little taken off guard when he saw Drake respond and jump in so quick. But all of this was calculated. And I think somewhere Joe Budden was in the mix. You can't tell me no different. And like I said, I'm not saying that Kendrick needed any of these dudes to do what he did. I just think it was almost like a jam session, like, yeah, go get him, go take him down. Even if it was just text being like, hey, I see what you're doing, bro. I feel like they was all in communication. Because Joe said this. I think a lot of people felt like Drake was so big, if we do put a dent in his legacy and his reputation, we got to do it together. We got to come together. Because Future and Metro Boomin, they knew exactly what they was doing when they got Kendrick on that record. I'm sure that's what they wanted him to do. There was no talk about, hey, yo, don't come on here and do that. I think they might have told Kendrick, or Kendrick might have came to them. They knew Like That was going to bring that smoke. Okay? And so, yeah. I just feel like Joe's silence and his seemingly keeping it fair kind of act the whole time was telling me he was guilty of something, okay? Great pod from Joe. Make sure y'all check him out anywhere you can hear podcasts. Let me know what y'all thought about the video, what y'all thought about Joe's statements. Do you think Joe was involved somehow? Is this the end of Drake? Is this the end of Drake? Let me know in the comments, man. Like the video and subscribe. We trying to get to 100,000. We gonna skip over 80, 90. We trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Can we do it? Can we do it? I will see y'all next time. Peace.